Those who have been watching this channel for some time know that I'm a fan of the big supersized Pontiacs of the 1960s and early 1970s. And here we have a special treat for you because this is not just any 1971 Pontiac. Most people would take a look at this and just say, oh gosh, that's a 71 Catalina four-door sedan. But this car is much more than a Catalina four-door sedan because it is a 1971 Catalina Freeway Enforcer. Yes, that's right. It's a police package vehicle and super rare, just one of about 20 Freeway Enforcers that were made for 1971. It's hard to believe that that's what Pontiac actually produced, and they even offered it to the buying public with that low a volume, but those are the figures from Pontiac Historical Society. And this car was recently dropped off at Chase Classic Motors, that's C-H-A-S-E, in Clinton Township, Michigan, where this shop specializes in working on old vehicles like this 71 Catalina, as well as Chryslers. And the owners let me feature this vehicle, so I'm very thankful about that. But wanted to at least give them a little shout out because they do great work on your classic cars, which is something that is becoming increasingly challenging to find. But let's talk now more about this 1971 Catalina Freeway Enforcer. And to that end, there actually were 3 different police package vehicles that one could order in 1971. The Freeway Enforcer was the, let's say, hottest of all of them. And in the brochure for police package vehicles from Pontiac for 1971, they say the Catalina Freeway Enforcer is for all-out turnpike pursuit. It came standard with Pontiac's beautiful 455 cubic inch 4-barrel carbureted engine, as well as a heavy-duty turbohydromatic transmission. Interestingly, when you got the Freeway Enforcer and the 455, you not only got the single snorkel air cleaner, you got actually a dual snorkel air cleaner that you're going to see in a moment. I guess a lot of people will talk about how you get a bit extra engine performance if you flip the air cleaner lid upside down on some of these old cars, and I guess that kind of proves it because Pontiac wouldn't have put a dual snorkel air cleaner unless that single air cleaner was restrictive in the first place. Now, in addition to that, you actually got some heavy-duty front seat cushions with deeper foam pads, heavy-duty rear seat springs, heavy-duty shock absorbers, disc front brakes, 12-inch drum-type rear brakes, which I believe is 1 inch bigger than the standard on the sedans. Might be the same as the station wagon brakes, even. You also got a 5-blade flex fan, heavy-duty wheels, even a heavy-duty frame on the vehicle that was reinforced. So awesome package overall to get one of these Catalina Freeway Enforcers. Now, as I mentioned, there were 2 other police package vehicles. There was the Catalina Light-Duty Enforcer that Pontiac advertises for routine city cruising, and that came standard with a 400 cubic inch 2-barrel carburetor. I'm surprised they would put 2-barrel carburetors on these police package vehicles, but that was what was standard. And you did get a heavy-duty turbohydromatic transmission. You got the bigger brakes, but you didn't get all the same heavy-duty equipment that you did on the previously mentioned package, including the stiffened chassis. So you did get the bigger brakes as an example, but the stiffened chassis was not something that was part of the Catalina Light-Duty Enforcer package. And, of course, the 455 was not part of it. Then there was the Catalina Highway Patrol package, which Pontiac advertises for rugged city patrolling or open highway performance. And, of course, for open highway performance, you have to get a 400 cubic inch 2-barrel V8 standard. Not sure that the 2-barrel would give great open highway performance, but, oh well, that was up to police, let's say, departments to specify the right vehicle. So, long story short, if you were going to pick a police car, you'd really want that Catalina Freeway Enforcer of any of them. Now let's return to talking about this particular car a little bit more. As I said, it's a 71 Catalina sedan is the basis for this Freeway Enforcer. And you'll notice the pillared look here, which actually is pretty handsome, I think, on these GM sedans, the 4-door sedans overall. And because it's a 1971 GM vehicle, you've got the louvers in the trunk there for the flow-through ventilation system. And because it's a Catalina, you have this kind of 2 taillight, bisected taillight design, as opposed to the Granville, for example, that had a 3 taillight element on either side. And this photograph is taken as the car is being dropped off for restoration, as I mentioned, at Chase Classic Motors in Clinton Township, Michigan. So hopefully there'll be some after pictures here in the not too distant future to see what this vehicle looks like going forward. And I'm sure everybody wants to see the heart of this beast, and here you have it, the 455 cubic inch 4-barrel V8. I believe this is a code YC engine that made 325 gross horsepower. Now, from a net horsepower rating, it probably made a little bit more than stock because you couldn't get the dual snorkel air cleaner in the big Pontiacs like the Catalina. You could get it in some of the performance vehicles like the GTO. But here it is, and you'll also notice this is a pretty bare bones car from an equipment standpoint. There's no cruise control. It does have power brakes, and it does have power steering. You can see the power steering pump and the brake booster, but no air conditioning either. No air conditioning compressor on this car, so whomever ordered this vehicle just wanted to sweat it out in the heat and have some big-time performance because that's what's under hood. Here's another picture of the 455. Here's another picture of the engine on this vehicle. You'll notice it's painted that Pontiac silvery, greeny, bluey color, which is correct for the time frame. That extra long upper radiator hose, again correct, to go into the thermostat housing. And you can tell your Pontiac V8s of this era by that alternator bracket, if you want one identifying, let's say, method, and that upper radiator hose because it's super long. Those were the only General Motors divisions that had something that looked like that. Of course, the engine looks different too, but that may be a bit hard for somebody to discern. It's also going to be hard for somebody to understand what engine is under hood in their Pontiac in terms of the displacement unless you look at the engine code, which is on the passenger side on the cylinder block just beneath the cylinder head. There should be a 2-letter code there that tells you which engine it is. Otherwise, the Pontiac's engines that displace 326 to 455 cubic inches are all the same physical size, so it's kind of hard to tell what you have under hood unless you look at that code. Now, turning to the interior of the car, it actually appears to be in pretty decent shape. The vinyl seats don't look too bad. The top portion of the dash pad looks pretty good. Might need some new carpets, but I mean, hey, that's no big deal. Not quite sure what that box is on the passenger side floor. Maybe it's a lock box for something. And you can't quite see it in this photo, but I'll show a zoomed-in photo. This does have a special certified speedometer that has some extra tick marks in it so that you can better discern what speed you're going. Now, interestingly, there was a gauge package that was optional on Pontiacs for 1971 where you could get an oil pressure gauge, a temperature gauge as an example, in addition to the fuel gauge. But this car, despite having that awesome 450i under hood, just has the idiot lights in that left pod along with the clock and the fuel gauge. Now, you'll notice to the left of that, you'll see this thing that says upper ventilation on the left, open or closed. So the air outlets on this car are not for the air conditioning, as I mentioned, but you can flip that switch and then you have some fresh air blowing at you as opposed to just the kick well vents and air coming out the bottom. And here's a better look at that certified speedometer and the idiot lights here in the left pod. Again, no gauges, but the certified speedometer has those extra little indicators at the 55, 65, the 5 mile per hour increments. The standard speedometer did not. I do think that one thing that's really interesting about this speedometer is that it isn't, let's say, a speedometer that's different really from the stock other than that little indicator at every 5 mile per hour increment, as well as it's saying certified speedometer in the middle there. It goes to 120 miles per hour, just like the standard 120 mile an hour speedometer that was in these cars. So surprised that they didn't have it go a little bit faster. I would guess these cars could push past 120 miles an hour. I've driven mine, well, pretty fast, north of 100 miles an hour. I had a lot of pedal travel left at probably about 105, 110. So I think these cars could do a little north of that 120. And yeah, they should have put a little bit more in terms of the speed markings on those Speedos, but I guess they didn't want to do that. And here is one final picture of the car at Chase Classic Motors, where they're getting ready to work on it. The car's got a little bit of body damage. Somebody added a vinyl top to it somewhere along its life, so not quite sure what the owner's going to end up wanting to do here, but at least he's got the makings of a super cool car, and like I said, one of about 20 that were produced in 1971. It doesn't get much better than that if you're a big Pontiac fan. I do love the 455 badge that denotes what's under hood on this Catalina. It's unfortunately missing a turn signal lamp, but I think that will be relatively easy to find The owner can still get one of those on eBay, but you just can't find one of these cars anymore. This is really what's special. Also notice that this bumper is effectively just decorative ornamentation. It's not going to provide any, let's say, impact resistance in the event of a crash. This was before the 5 mph impact standard that would come in the front bumpers in 73. And if you want to learn a little more about this vehicle, here's a page for the 1971 police vehicle brochure for Pontiac. Notice they talk about that 455 cubic inch 4-barrel V8 at the top left, and there's the dual snorkel air cleaner, just as I pointed out. In the top right is a photo talking about the heavy-duty suspension system. Just below that is talking about the power front disc brakes as well as the 12-inch rear drums. And then the photo beneath that, it talks about the seat cushion, because you got to have a nice place to sit in the event you're sitting in your cruiser all day. So Pontiac gave these vehicles a bit more foam padding and heavy-duty seats versus those that came in the standard car. Also notice you can see the 3 different police packages that I was mentioning there in the middle and how Pontiac describes the equipment that came on each of them. Again, the Catalina Freeway Enforcer is the bottom one there. That was the one to really get if you wanted the hot Pontiac. So what do you think about this sweet 1971 Pontiac? It's, well, I think certainly worthy of restoration. Needs a little TLC. But where else are you going to find a car that's one of 20? I think that Pontiac fans everywhere will drool over this car, especially once it's been restored. I can only imagine how it runs with that dual snorkel 455 cubic inch V8 under hood. And lastly, here's a picture of the car from its days as a police cruiser. Notice that it's missing the vinyl top, but this is from a little town in Pennsylvania where this car originated. And it's kind of cool that a local newspaper dug this photo up for the owner of the car. So there it is. And you can follow Chase Classic Motors on Facebook. They're going to be doing a series of YouTube videos on the restoration of this car. So be sure to check that out, and I'll post a link in the comment section once those videos are posted. Thanks again for watching. What do you think about this sweet Pontiac? Let me know. Take care.